So why did I shave my head? Because this is the best time in a man's life, I think. Perhaps in anybody's life, but I resonate with men more so, right? So because this is the time where you get to, like, fuck everything else, fuck looking good, fuck the norms, fuck the conditioning, fuck the vanity. This is the time when you get to tap into your function and real value. Where does your real value come from as a man, right? So this time when you're up and coming, this time when you're maybe not all that you could be and you're still working on things, most people try to run away from this time. They try to get out of it as quickly as possible, and they make a half-assed effort at getting through that period of the up and coming phase because they're so desperately wanting to be something else than what they are. I made this mistake. I actually shaved my head before to deal with anxiety, but I was still trying to run from that period of life where I had the anxiety. I was still trying to look good in the process, even while I had shaved my head. This was like 2019 or so, okay? But I never let myself lean into that stage of life, and it was actually it is actually the best stage of life because it is the one stage of life where you get to overcome your vanity as a person. Because later on, and I know that in old age that's actually also a blessing. You get to overcome that vanity, but as a young person, this is the one time where you get to overcome that vanity because you will look good, right? You will hit your goals, and then you won't have a chance to find the real wellspring of your value because at that point it'll be too easy to convince yourself that it came from the money, that it came from the looks, that it came from whatever skill you acquired. But right now when you are at your worst, can you find the value in yourself right now? Can you tap it fully into function right now? Can you lean into style over looking good? Because I believe looking good, that the effort to look good is a bad thing. It's brings with it a whole host of problems. For example, if you look at the research on self-objectification, like, man, that brings anxiety. It brings the crushing force of norms, conditioning. And if you ever want to break out of that, I believe a person should lean into style and not looking good. And it's interesting because when I said this in person, one person piped up, does a lion have style or does a lion look good? And it was very interesting, that parallel, because yes, a lion has style. A lion never tries to look good, but in having the style, in leaning into the function, and being into that, like it is self-presentation, but at the same time, it's not self-presentation to look good, right? But in doing so, without that ulterior motive of looking good, it ends up looking good by not trying, right? So the motive should be style and not looking good. Shaving my head liberated me to do that because even though I had beaten my anxiety to a large extent, beaten my body image issues to a large extent, I never went all the way with it. Even like when I gained weight over the last semester because I was working night shifts to finish my degree, to finish the last semester, I gained some weight. I was not everything I could be, and like the Red Seal journey, like there's still a couple of years to go. So it's like I'm kind of in this in-between stage as a man where I know I'm not everything I could be just yet, right? But rather than trying to rush through this process, trying to run to the next thing, trying to run away from this low that I'm in right now, I wanted to lead the way. Like, I didn't want to just prescribe things. I didn't want to just talk the talk. I wanted to walk the talk. I wanted to lead the way and show that this is the time that a man should lean into, because there are so many virtues to be gotten out of this phase of life that it's very hard to get otherwise. Because when I start to look good, when I start to acquire the skill, the accomplishments, the accolades, the money, all that starts to come, all the hot babes, whatever comes later in life, I will, if I haven't milked this process, this phase of life right now, I will slip into thinking that the real source of my value is the looks, that it's the money, it's the girls, it's the body, it's whatever, right? So this is the one point in my life where if I can fully function as a man, if I can lean into the functioning, if I can lean into doing every fucking thing that I want to do, I can lean into dressing the way I want to dress, presenting myself the way I want to dress, leaning into style rather than looks, being as social as possible, tapping into my real source of value as a man. Where does it come from? Finding that. I've been meditating every single morning, half an hour every single morning. If I can do all that, then this is the point in my life where I beat the vanity. This is the point in my life where I beat the vanity, and I find the real wellspring of value as a person that can sustain me, even when the trappings of society come back. Like later in life, whatever. So yeah. So I would say, if you're like overweight, you have pimples, you're not where you want to be in your career, you're still broke, wherever you're at as a man, I wanted to lead the way. I want to show you guys that this is possible, to lean into that Joker phase of life. I call it the Joker phase of life, where you don't give a fuck about looking good, and you just focus on the doing, focus on the functioning, focus on the real value. Find the real value. What enables you to go into a social setting and look like shit or whatever? You don't know that, right? Like, maybe I look good, I don't know, but in my mind I like to think that I look like shit, and I'm focusing on the style, like having the style anyways, having the flair anyways, having the swag anyways, right? This is where the real training happens. Yeah.